Welcome to Vlogmas Day 4. Let's have a little chat, shall we? I don't know if you guys can tell, but I feel like I sound better. I'm still a little bit like inflamed in my sinuses, which is what typically happens with me when I get a cold. My sinuses get inflamed. But I slept good again last night, so that was great. In fact, I woke up at 6 with a headache, so I took a couple ibuprofen and went back to sleep until 8. And I normally don't not sleep in like that. I normally get up around 6:15, 6:30. But I am able to sleep in. I don't work anymore, so if I am not feeling well, I permit myself to do that. Because sleep is so important. And that is another one of those things that I've learned is great for my mind, is making sure that I'm getting enough sleep. So anyway, I have some more lemon ginger. I actually had a couple of you say that actually it seems like quite a few of us have been under the weather. So we're not alone. We're together in this, right? Who wants to be sick during the holiday season? But it happens sometimes. So yeah, I had a couple of you say that you tried the lemon ginger cinnamon concoction and really found it soothing, and it is so soothing. Lily made a big pot of it. Actually, we've made 2 pots so far today. We're all drinking it, and it's just, yeah, it's really yummy and it's so good for you. So yeah, anyway, I want to do a little bit of, I have fiber in my, there we go, sorry. So I wanted to do a little chat here, just talk some knitting, and then talk about my favorite cookbook for like desserts, and then probably that'll be it for the chat part, at least for now. So this morning, let's talk about my cookbook first that I absolutely love. So this cookbook, I may have shared this last Vlogmas, I don't know, or maybe I shared it in a different vlog, like just a random vlog that I've done over the last year or a year and a half. I can't remember how long I've had this cookbook, but it is awesome. I use this cookbook more than any other. The reason I like it so much is it is gluten-free, it's dairy-free, it's unrefined sugar-free. So the sweeteners used are typically coconut sugar, which has a lower glycemic index than like regular cane sugar, or maple syrup. There might be some recipes with honey, but no refined sugar in any of these recipes. And a lot of them are made with almond flour, which I prefer. Everything I've made out of here has been a success, except for the caramel sauce. I made the caramel sauce to go over a cake that I made in here, like an apple spice cake I made for our friend's birthday, and back in October. It did not turn out. It looked like lumpy turkey gravy, so I just pitched it. It was disgusting looking. I could not. It was supposed to be drizzled over the cake, and as I was making it, I was thinking, I do not understand how this is going to look like caramel sauce or have the texture of caramel sauce, and it didn't. So I won't make that again. I don't think it's anything that I did wrong. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it is. It was just, it turned out really strange. But anyway, I love this recipe. I know that at least for some of these, you can get on her blog. So my favorite chocolate chip cookies are these paleo chocolate chip cookies, and she actually has this recipe on her blog. So you can look up the Bakerita blog, and she has a ton of recipes on there. But anyway, yeah, love this cookbook. Made the fudgy brownies today, and I just pulled them out of the oven. You have to let them cool completely. I just really appreciate this cookbook because with gluten-free baking, it can be a real, you know, it just doesn't always, it doesn't always work out, but I've had so much success with her recipes. So I keep going back to it and trying new ones and absolutely love it. So I really recommend this. If you cannot have gluten or dairy, yeah, great cookbook. Or if you know, oh my gosh, if you know someone in your life that can't and they like to bake, great Christmas gift. That's not sponsored. I just love it. I use it that much. Okay, so I baked the brownies because I am craving chocolate so badly today, and I don't keep junk food in my house, which is good, but at times it's unfortunate because, you know, sometimes you just get a craving. And when I'm sick, I don't really want to be consuming sugar because that's an inflammatory food. So I was like, oh, should I make them? Should I not? And I did make them. And I will just have like one brownie and it'll hopefully satisfy my chocolate craving, and then I will move on. And everybody in the house appreciates the brownies that are being made or have been made. But then I also have started a chicken noodle soup on the stove top going for dinner tonight, and I'm gonna bake a loaf of sourdough. I started it yesterday and it wasn't warm enough in the house to do its first like bulk rise, so I let it rise overnight, and when I woke up this morning it was nice and full. And so I just put it into the basket, the proofing basket, stuck it in the fridge, and I'm basically doing what I normally do at night. I'm just doing it throughout the day, and then hopefully around 4:30. What time is it now anyway? It's 2:30. So in a couple hours I will throw it in the oven, and hopefully it will turn out. I've never done it. I've never done such a long bulk rise, but I guess it was just too cool in here yesterday. So that's pretty much what's been going on. Have I done anything else today? No, I don't know. It's so gray out. I truly do not feel motivated. I have to really fight hard when it's so gray. We had a little bit of snow flurries, but like they've stopped, and it's nothing on the ground or anything, which I would actually like because the snow is pretty. But hey, I mean, I can't complain. I live in Western Pennsylvania and we choose to live here. So I have to be okay with like gray winters because that's what we get here. Okay. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about my knitting. So I told you guys yesterday I'm going to be casting on the Euphorbia shawl by Amba O'Brien as my Advent, using the Advent yarn that I get from Brazos Fiberworks. And today's, I would have showed it earlier, but it's really going, I don't know, is it going to change? It's a very much a pink theme so far, but I don't know. I like pink, so that's fine. But one of you had mentioned, I said I was going to use the mohair, or the Surrey alpaca held double with the fingering weight yarn, because I wanted to kind of subdue the colors and maybe make it just like a smoother blend, because I'm not doing an actual fade where I fade in. I'm just going to do color blocks basically. And one of you had mentioned that the Surrey alpaca is really fluffy, and it is, and it may kind of take away from the fingering weight yarn and the colors, the true colors of it. And while I do want to subdue the colors a bit, I didn't want the color to get lost within the Surrey alpaca. So I took that viewer's advice, thank you so much, and I wound up my 2 skeins of mohair. This is just undyed mohair, which is also very nice and fluffy and furry, but not as much as the Surrey alpaca. So yes, that's the plan. And it's a thinner yarn. Okay, I would say this is like, like fingering because of the fluffiness, but the Surrey alpaca would definitely be more of like a sport or DK weight, I would say, which I don't care for a shawl. It doesn't matter to me. Like, I'm not worried about gauge, but I am going to go with this. And as I was winding up that Surrey alpaca yesterday, I was reminded of why I had that. And it was because I wanted to hold it double with, hold on, let me grab this Joseph and Annie yarn that I've had for years. I want to make I want to make a cropped pullover to wear over my dresses. And I bought the Surrey alpaca to kind of brighten this up, because it is I would say like, it's almost like a beigey color, and it's got little tiny speckles of tan in it. And it's a natural, it's not dyed. It's from this sheep called Cinnamon. or no, I'm sorry, it's not from a sheep called Cinnamon. It's the way that they spun this up. They had cinnamon and then they had pepper. I don't think the sheep's name were Cinnamon and Pepper. I could be wrong. I think that was just the coloring. So this colorway is called Cinnamon. I feel like it's so noisy in the background. Are you guys hearing that? Somebody was popping air popcorn. Now somebody's out there pulling a shot of espresso. But as I said before, real life, guys, real life. So hopefully it's not distracting too much from my voice. I'm trying to speak loudly. So yeah, so I bought that Surrey alpaca to hold double with this to make a pullover, and I really like the tulip pullover by Melody Hoffman. I think that would be really beautiful to wear over some of my dresses, and it would also be something practical, something that I'm actually in need of. So I'm gonna save that Surrey alpaca and just stick to my original plan, and then use this to hold double with my minis to do the Euphorbia shawl. And then real quick, I want to show you guys a pair of socks that I've started since Vlogmas began. I can't remember. I know I haven't shown these to you yet. But this is a really fun yarn, in my opinion. So I've got a pair going. And this is Fable. This is by Drops. Drops Fable print. Let me show you the label. I'll show you the color. I'm not really keeping up on show notes because it's a lot to edit every day and post in the evening. So I'm not really doing show notes. So just if you could mind just getting the info off the screen if you're curious in it. I ordered this whenever Wool Warehouse had a humongous drop sale over the summer, and I had ordered, I think, 5 different colorways, 2 skeins each, and they were like $2 US and some odd change. Like, they were really discounted. Well, the first pair of socks I knit was in October, and I have to be honest, I was not crazy for the Drops at all, the Drops Fable. It was very splitty. I could not wait to finish those socks. Honestly, I liked the patterning of the yarn so much, and that is what kept me going on it. But I have to say, this at least this skein is not splitty at all. I am in shock. Like, it's not splitty at all. I'm completely enjoying the process of knitting these. So I'm not really sure. I know that when I had talked about that in my podcast, that someone else had mentioned, a viewer had mentioned that she had also found the Drops Fable to be extremely splitty. So I don't know if I just got lucky on this skein, but I guess I'm going to find out because I have a bunch of other skeins of this yarn to eventually make into socks. But I am really enjoying, like, I don't have to look. Like, with the other skein, I had to really pay attention because I was splitting the yarn so much when I was knitting the stitches. But for this, like, nope, I can just sit here and knit and not really pay attention. So that's wonderful. But yeah, I just love these colors so much. I find them so fun. And I think this was called something like Unicorn Party or something to that effect. Something about a unicorn. Drops doesn't put their colorway names on their labels, at least any kind of Drops yarn I've ever bought. They just put the colorway numbers, but I'm pretty sure I remember because that name is sticking out in my head. So yeah, that is basically, that's what I've been knitting on this month. And then another pair of socks that I showed on my previous, on my very last actual podcast episode. So I want to get this Euphorbia wrap. Actually, I think I'm going to do that now because my chicken is boiling. You know, I'm like simmering the chicken to make the broth. So I think I have some time to sit down and start the shawl because I'm really excited. I love it. Don't you love it when you're super excited to do a knitting project? Like, some we do just because it's a practical knit, or it's something we need, or it's something we know that somebody else would find useful or whatever. But sometimes it's just like you have this extra special excitement for a new cast on, and that's how I'm feeling about this wrap. So yes, that is what's going on. And so Jennifer, if you're watching, thank you so much for sending me the advent calendar. It is truly a blessing, and it's enabling me to knit this Euphorbia wrap. and I love that it's gonna be like a surprise every day. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up for the chatty portion now. I've said everything that I was thinking about and wanting to chat about, so I'm gonna go and enjoy some time knitting, see if my brownies are cold. If they are, I might just have to enjoy a brownie while I do my knitting, and maybe find a Vlogmas or something Christmassy to watch while I knit. Definitely fudgy. As you can see, they don't really rise, which is kind of typical of gluten-free. But I would make them again. They have a really yummy chocolatey taste. Will definitely meet that chocolate craving I've been having. Also, another thing, because I feel like people are probably going to ask, I did not knit my sweater. I think every time I've ever worn this sweater, I've been asked if I knitted it. I did not. This was a sweater that I purchased 3 years ago. So, can't give you a pattern for it. Sorry about that.